between Johnson County and Coffeyville Community College. Chris Freund filling in for Shea here on Sunshine 98.9, the Red Raven Sports Network. We begin with 1 out in the first inning. After a line out, McClure lined out to the second baseman, Midget. Nice shot, but a nice leaping grab to start the game. It's 1-1 now. With a swing and a miss, 1-2 to Schenkel with Miller on deck. Same starting lineups for both teams as last game. A game in which Coffeyville won 5-4. Popped up left side, giving chase. Nice running grab by the shortstop, Cruz. He cruised to make that play.
Now batting
and it's 2 up and 2 down.
14, Mike and Miller.
That brings up Miller. Inside corner, strike 1. 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Nice pitch from Red. So quickly 0-2. And the pitch. Just a tad inside, 1-2. And the pitch. Slap to the third baseman. Throws over to first. Nice scoop by the first baseman. Nice scoop for the third out of the inning. And at the end of 1/2, Johnson County nothing. Coffeyville coming to bat. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Pitching for Johnson County, number 7, Denton Biller. And leading off for Coffeyville in the bottom of the first inning, center fielder number 4, Eric Bacon.
Chevy with the butterfly door. Son is a habit. Heat like me. Hey, I'm seeing the Chevy with the heat like me. Hey, I'm seeing the Chevy with the heat like me. Hey, I'm seeing the Chevy with the butterfly door.
And here we go with bottom of the first for the Red Ravens. There's a shot into left field. Deep fly ball. Left fielder going back. It's going to be off the base of the wall. And Eric Bacon is going to start with a leadoff double for the Red Ravens. It was a nice shot off the base of the wall just to the left of the scoreboard.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, right fielder, number 12, Colton Rudy.
That brings up Colton Rudy. Rudy got a base hit in the 7th inning of game number 1. Looking to bunt. Straight back to the pitcher. Nice bunt. Good speed, almost speeded out, but a nice sacrifice nonetheless. Moving Bacon over to third.
Next up for Coffeyville, second baseman, number 14, Landon Midget.
That brings up Landon Midget to the plate. Midget had a base hit and scored back in the fourth inning of game number 1. Was 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch. Fisted it to the second baseman. He's going to take care of it. Runner stays at third for the second out of the inning.
Now batting for Coffeyville, DH number 31, Sean Moreno.
That brings in John Moreno to the plate. It's always a jinx when you say the game is moving fast so far, but 5 quick outs for both teams. So if it slows down, y'all, it's my fault. Here comes the pitch. He checked, could not hold back. 0-1. Gets the sign in the pitch. Outside, 1-1. Biller has pitched in 11 games so far this season. There's one right down the middle, 1-2. Has a 3.53 ERA. He's 8-0 on the season in 11 appearances. All starts. The 1-2 to Moreno. Slap towards the second baseman, moves to his left, corrals it, makes the throw for out number 3. So Bacon is left on third. No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left at the end of 1. Tied at 0 back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 of the Red Raven Sports Network.
Number 26, Jeremy Comer.
A 1-ball, 2-strike count as we join in the second inning. Slap down the third base line. That is foul. I believe that is... Oh, yes, it is. Comer is at the plate. They have 26 and 27 right next to each other. That got me confused a little bit, but it is 1-2 now to Comer. with Bruce on deck. Here's the pitch. Outside 2-2. And the pitch. Through the hole on the right side, base hit. Nice hit to start the inning for Comer. That brings in Bruce. Boston Bruce.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 27, Boston Bruce.
Bruce was quiet at the plate last game. 0 for 2 with a walk. And the pitch. Out of play right side, 0-1. And the pitch outside, 1-1. Bruce back in the box. 1-1 offering. Fouled off right side again. So the count goes to 1-2. Runner on first is Comer after a leadoff base hit. And the pitch. Tried to go for that outside corner and missed. 2-2. Throws over. Not much of a lead by Comer, maybe a step or two at most. And the 2-2. Fouled back over our heads. Count stays at 2-2. When I was first broadcasting games, I was told I was supposed to bring a ballerina outfit just in case the count went 2-2. Thank goodness mine was in the shop. Fouled off again. Count stays at 2-2. Nobody out here in the top of the second. No score. Sorry, folks, you're stuck with bad jokes when you have me behind the mic. You can thank Shea. Throw over to first. Now's the time I'm trying to remember everything Jake Eisenberg said Wednesday. And the pitch. Fouled out of play. Giving it a little bit of a chase, his pace. Outside 3-2. Not a bad pitch, though. Here it is. Might have chased ball 4, but jammed and foul. That had the sound of that didn't feel too good. Might have hurt his hands just a tad on that. Might be tingling a little bit. And it looks like actually it hit the umpire too. I did not even know that. I didn't see where it got him, but a jam shot off the bat must have got him pretty good. Got him on the arm. Oh boy. On the forearm. I just thought it was the batter that wasn't feeling well. I didn't realize the umpire got it as well. So looks like he's doing all right and going to shake it off. In the words of Taylor. Even got a smile on his face. There's a tough guy right there. So the count is still full. And here's the pitch. Popped up right side foul territory. Pace with the catch for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 16, Riker Edwards.
That brings in Riker Edwards to the plate, a right fielder. Edwards wanted for 3 in first game. Chops it back to the pitcher. And an error into center field will allow the runner on second to go to third on the play. So Comer goes to third on the E1.
Now batting for Johnson, number 11, Easton Rowe.
That brings in Rowe. Got runners on the corners with 1 out here at the top of the second. Pitches a ball, 1-0. It wasn't a bad play. He was able to stab it off the pitcher's mound, but didn't give his shortstop enough time to cover the base, and it went into center field, causing the runner to go from second to third. Throw over to first now. So Johnson County threatening here in the top of the second. Runners on first and third. Here's the pitch. Foul tip. Count goes to 1-1. Comer on first, Comer on third, Edwards on first. We're looking at a 1-1 count here. There's a shot into right center field. That is a big fly off of the base of the wall in center field. Bacon gets it back in, but it is going to be a 2-run double, a 2 RBI double here in the top of the second. Rowe with a nice shot at the base of the wall in center field.
Now batting for Johnson, number 22, Chris Mancinas.
And it's 2-0. Johnson. That brings in Mancinas. And he gets hit. So runners on first and second now.
Next up for Johnson, number 4, Carter Kelly.
That brings in Carter Kelly. Kelly just 0 for 2 before he was replaced last game. I believe he had a base hit and then was pinch ran for in the 7th inning of last game. Takes ball 1. So 1-0, 1 out here, top of the second. Johnson with 2 runs across, looking to push across more. With runners on first and second. There's a strike, 1-1. And the pitch outside, nice dig by the catcher. Great dig by Miller there to keep runners from advancing. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. For those of you watching on the Red Raven Sports Network, don't worry, I am too. Sometimes it's easy to forget and watch the game as it's happening because I'm watching the monitor. 3-1. There's runners going. Looked like a hit and run. Right down the right field line. Foul. The count goes full. We have two studio producers for today's broadcast. Scott Maples back at the studio. Blaine here on site. Glad to be bringing you Coffeyville baseball on a Sunday afternoon from Walter Johnson Park. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Runners go again. There's a shot into center field. Going back. Able to make the play is Bacon. And he'll get it in. Runners will go back to first and second. Nice shot. Not a bad hit. But Bacon with the nice play for the out.
Next up for Johnson, number 17, Jake McClure.
That brings in the top of the order and Jake McClure. McClure lined out to second, his first at bat. And the pitch. Fouled back to the screen. He would have had that if there wasn't a net there. Yeah, easy snag. That's Dirk, by the way, would have had that. And the 0-1. Up the middle off the pitcher. First baseman runs over to contain it and keep a runner from scoring, so base is loaded. After a base hit off the pitcher.
Next up for Johnson County, number 28, Bo Schinkel.
So here comes Schinkel as we get a mound visit. One, maybe to go over a little bit of strategy. Two, just to make sure that the pitcher is okay. Got that pretty good off of the lower leg. So 2 runners have been pushed across here in the top of the second inning for Johnson County. They lead 2-0. Chris Braun, glad to be with you here on a Sunday afternoon at Walter Johnson Park. The good news for Coffeyville, they are going to host a playoff series after taking game 1 of this doubleheader, 5-4. Mound visit is over. So Schinkel steps in. Flied out to the third baseman. His first at bat. And the pitch. Ground ball to second. Nice dig. Throws over to first, and he missed the tag. The throw drew him off the base just a little bit, but Pace tried to tag and couldn't get the tag, so a run scores. So that will probably be an E4.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 14, Micah Miller.
The bases are still loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Johnson County now leads 3-0. And the pitch to Miller. Fouled off, strike 1. So bases loaded, 2 outs here, top of the second. And the pitch. Inside corner, strike 2. Doubted that one on the inside part of the plate. Miller crowds the plate. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Taken by the first baseman. He'll take it himself. Unassisted put out to end the second inning. But 3 runs come across for Johnson County. They lead 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
bottom of the second inning. Shortstop number 8, Nathan Cruz.
That's too much something. Hermes in the aim. That's too much something. They let me know before I was famous. I had too much something. All the mile he blow now.
1-0 count as we begin the bottom of the second to Nathan Cruz with Pace and Jernigan due up for Coffeyville. Johnson County scored 3 runs in the top of this inning. They lead 3-0. Now there's a swing and a miss. Looked like he actually tipped it, so it's 1-1. 1-1 to Cruz. And the pitch. Fouled off to the left. Count goes 1-2. We appreciate you joining us here on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. If you can't be here, radio and video stream is the place to be. Fouled off to the right side. Count remains at 1-2. It's nice to see the rain hold off at least for a day to be able to get these games in. Fouled back our way. That would have been off my head without the net. Because unlike Dirk, I have terrible reaction time. He has great reaction time. Foul ball out of play. Count stays at 1-2. With no outs here in the bottom of the second. See, Shea runs you down. I build you up. That's the big difference right there. I believe in building people up. Or something like that. And here's the pitch. A little outside, maybe a little low as well. 2-2. And the pitch. Ground ball. Shortstop moves to his right. Double bounce, and he is safe. I don't know if that came out of his hand a little strange, but it's a 2-hopper over to the first baseman and an infield single by Cruz.
Now batting for Coffeyville, first baseman, number 10, Wyatt Pace.
That brings up Wyatt Pace to the plate. Pace is 1 for 3 in game number 1 with a base hit. And the pitch. Inside, 1-0. Comes set. And the pitch. Runner takes off for second. Throw down to second, and he is out. Catcher short hop the throw just a little bit with a nice tag applied. It was on the first base side of second base. So a caught stealing for the first out of the inning. So Pace is up now with nobody on and 1 out here in the top or the bottom of the second. There's a strike right down the middle. 1-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the first strikeout of the game for Johnson County.
Next up for Coffeyville, third baseman, number 28, Cooper Jarnigan.
So Wheeler's first strikeout brings up Jarnigan. There's a shot into right center field where the center fielder comes over and takes care of it for the third out of the inning. After a base hit and a caught stealing, 2 up, 2 down. and no runs here in the bottom of the second. Headed to the top of the third, Johnson County leads 3-0 back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 of the Red Raven Sports Network.
You can tell your old man you do some large man.
Number 26, Jeremy Comer.
Comer is up to bat. He is 1 for 1 on the day with a base hit and a run scored back in the second inning. Johnson County leads 3-0 here in the top of the third inning. Christopher, I'm glad to be with you here from Walter Johnson Park. Here's the 1-1. Right up the middle. Base hit. What a shot. And it sounded like Ren got a little bit of a glove on it. Almost made the play, but just a sharp hit right back up the box.
27, Boston Bruce.
That brings in Boston Bruce. Grounded into a fielder's choice to start the second inning. Johnson County batted around basically in that second inning. So the run on first is Comer. Here's the pitch. Sky high. Will it stay in play? It does. Nice catch by Gillespie.
Next up for Johnson County, number 16, Riker Edwards.
That brings in the right fielder, Riker Edwards. Pop up right side. Second baseman going out. Right fielder coming in. Right fielder makes the catch. Nice catch by Rudy. Out there in right.
Now batting for Johnson, number 11, Easton Rowe.
Easton Rowe hit a double. Had a couple of RBIs in that second inning. 1 for 1, of course. He comes up now with 2 outs and a runner on first. That runner being Comer. Inside, ball 1. After a long look, here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Mancinas is on deck. Should this inning continue? In the meantime, the pitch. Inside. 3-0 now to Rowe. Here we go, the 3-0. Walked him. So a 2-out walk to Rowe brings in Mancinas, who was hit by a pitch his first at bat.
22, Chris Mancinas.
So it's Comer on first, Rowe or Comer on second, Rowe on first. I'll get that right eventually. with Mancinas at the plate. 2 outs here, top of the third. Inside 1-0. 3-0 Johnson County, top of the third. And here's the pitch. Rope down the right field line, foul. The count goes to 1-1. And the pitch. Up and out, 2-1. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Coffeyville won the first game 5-4 on a walk-off. Looking to complete the doubleheader sweep here right now. Down 3-0 though. Here's the pitch. Must have been inside. 3-1. And the 3-1 delivery. Inside. Gonna walk him. That walks, the bases loaded, so 2 straight walks.
Next up for Johnson County, number 4, Carter Kelly.
That brings in Carter Kelly. It flew out to center field last inning. Johnson County looking to add to their 3-0 lead here in the top of the third. Outside 1-0. Red looking to get out of a bases loaded jam. Here's the pitch. Outside 2-0. And quickly a mound visit. Maybe looking for just some time to kind of settle his pitcher down. So there's 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the third. Johnson County with the bases loaded, and they lead 3-0. (3-0) in this 9-inning game. The walk-off was in the bottom of the 7th in game 1, so 9-inning game here. Now that the mound visit's over, I think this would be a pretty big lift for this Coffeyville team if they were able to get out of this inning with no runs scored against them. We'll see what happens here. 2-0. The pitch. Down low, 3-0. We'll see if Kelly has the 3-0 green light. And he walked him. So an RBI the easy way. Comer comes in to score. Rowe moves to third, and Cenas on second.
17, Jake McClure.
So Jake McClure batting for the 3rd time in 3 innings. There's the pitch inside, 1-0. McClure is 1 for 2. Lined out to the second baseman in the 1st inning, had a base hit back in the 2nd inning. He's up with the bases loaded here in the 3rd, 2 outs. Ball gets away. They're going to try, and a score. The run scores. That's Rowe going across on the pass ball. In fact, all runners advance. So it's 2nd and 3rd now. And the pitch is a ball, so 3-0. Johnson County with 3 in the 2nd inning. 2 so far here in the 3rd inning. They lead 5-0. Here's the pitch. There's a strike. The count goes to 3-1. And the pitch. Ball 4, he walked him, so that's the third walk of the inning.
Now batting for Johnson, number 28, Bo Schinkel.
Bo Schinkel comes up with the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Johnson County leads 5-0. And the pitch. Skied left side out of play, 0-1. And the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Schenkel 0 for 2 so far. There's a pitch, foul territory, almost a great diving catch. By Jarnigan. Jarnigan laid out to try to catch that one in foul territory, just out of his reach. So foul ball, 1-2. And the pitch. Outside, 2-2. Five nothing Johnson County here, top of the third. Here we go. A shot into right field. Going back is the right fielder who makes the play to end the inning. But 2 more come across for Johnson County. They now lead 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Coffeyville in the bottom of the third inning. Catcher, number 7, Ethan Gillespie.
In the Ferrari, a Jaguar, switching 4 lanes on top down, screaming out money in the bank.
One and 0 to Gillespie as we start the bottom of the third inning here at Walter Johnson Park. It will be Gillespie, Miller back to the top of the order to Bacon. Johnson County leads 5-0 here in the bottom of the third. First pitch was a ball, 1-0. Second one is a ball as well, 2-0. And the 2-0. Inside 3-0. If I were able to give you a synopsis of this game in less than 10 seconds, I'll say it this way. Coffeyville's still going through their first time through the order. Johnson County already in their third time through the order. There's a leadoff walk to Gillespie.
Next up for Coffeyville, left fielder, number 2, Carson Miller.
That brings Carson Miller to the plate.
Young money.
And Miller looking. Here's the pitch. So we're going to miss strike one. Nice pitch down and low in the zone. Might have been a touch below the knees. 0-1. So a runner on first in Gillespie. Coffeyville looking to cut into a 5-0 deficit. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-1. And the pitch. Fisted back towards the second baseman, kind of in the Bermuda Triangle. And he is safe at first. An infield single by Miller. Puts runners on first and second. That one was way in on the handle, but found the perfect spot in between the pitcher's mound and first base. Pitcher tried to get over to cover and make the play, but Speedy Miller got the hit. That brings in Bacon with runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Here we go. A little squibber towards the shortstop. His only play is over to first. For the first down of the inning.
Next up for Coffeyville, right fielder number 12, Colton Rudy.
So that brings in Colton Rudy, who sacrificed his first time at bat. Bacon was able to get the runners over to second and third with only one out. Fouled off toward the Johnson County dugout for strike one. 0-1. One out, I should say, here in the bottom of the third. Coffeyville at bat. Johnson County leading 5-0. Runners on second and third, though. Gillespie on third, Miller on second. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, strike two. And the pitch. Foul down to play left side. A few bounces into the parking lot. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. A huge second out for Johnson County.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, second baseman number 14, Landon Midget.
That brings in Landon Midget, who flied out to second in his first at bat. And the pitch. Inside, 1-0. This would be a pretty big break for Johnson County and for Miller, with runners on second and third. If they are able to get out of this with no runs across, it'll keep the shutout alive for them. Coffeyville looking to get at least one here. Down the left field line, foul. Bringing the count to 1-1. And the pitch. High, ball two. So 2-1. Here we go. The 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Midget looking to get on base so Moreno can come up. Cut into this lead by Johnson County. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. Took a little something off of that one. So here we go, 3-2. And the pitch. Into right field, right fielder going back and making the catch. And that's the end of the inning. No runs come across. Coffeyville leaves 2 on. At the end of 3, Johnson County leads Coffeyville 5-0. Headed to the top of the 4th in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Second inning. He's up now on top of the 4th, with Johnson County leading 5-0. Got a piece of it, fouled it back 0-2. I heard in the first game there was a player who grounded into the cycle. Miller's got half of that already. Just in the 4th inning. Miller steps out, now he's back in. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Now batting for Johnson, number 26, Jeremy Comer.
That brings up Jerry Comer to the plate. 2 for 2, a couple of base hits, a couple of runs scored. First pitch is a strike, 0-1. And the 0-1. Strike 2 either was fouled off or just gone to the backstop. Either way, it was a strike. I'm not sure if he got a piece of it or if it just went through the catcher's glove or what. Either way, it's 0-2. And the 0-2 is down low, 1-2. Doesn't matter, it's a strike. And Coffeyville's looking to string a few outs together. There's a shot into center field. Bacon going back, still going back over his head off the wall. Racing around second and going to third, and that will be a triple for Comer. Off of the wall. Just just to the right of the 400 sign on the tallest part of the wall. just to the left of the American
Now
flag.
batting for Johnson, number 27, Boston Bruce.
So a triple by Comer brings up Boston Bruce to the plate, who is 0 for 2. Pop up to the first baseman, pop up to the catcher. There's a pop up out of play. 0 and 1. Bacon had a long run to go after that triple. Batted a third of the way up the wall. Next pitch is a ball, 1 and 1. Outside corner, strike 2. 1 and 2 with 1 gone here in the top of the 4th. Johnson County leading 5-0. There's a shot into left field. Going back. Probably deep enough to let the run score, and it does. So a sacrifice fly by Bruce. That's his second out of the inning.
For Johnson, number 16, Riker Edwards.
And Riker Edwards steps in. Reached on an error in the second inning. Flew out to right in the third inning. And takes a strike, 0 and 1. Into right field, a little blooper. Caught by the second baseman, did a good job ranging into the outfield grass to make that play. So 1 run comes across at the end of 3.5. Coffeyville down 6-0 to Johnson County. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. The bottom of the 4th. It's Moreno, Cruz, and Pace due up for the Red Ravens. Moreno 0 for 1. And the pitch is a strike, 0 and 1. 6-0 Johnson County, I should say, here in the bottom of the 4th. And the pitch. Up high, 1 and 1. So Johnson County with 3 in the second, 2 in the third, and 1 in the 4th. And the 1-1. Outside, 2 and 1. Coffeyville, no runs on 3 hits so far today. Here's the 2-1. Out of play, 2-2. Long look in. And here's the pitch. Grounded to the third baseman. Slow roller chopped. It couldn't be dug out by the first baseman. That was going to be a close play no matter what.
Next up for Coffeyville, shortstop, number 8, Nathan Cruz.
That brings in Nathan Cruz. We got a base hit back in the second inning. What do we call that? Infield hit, y'all? Trying to get a consistency here from the, yeah. That looked more like an infield hit to me. So Cranberry with an infield single. He's on first. Here is Cruz, who had a base hit back in the second and was caught stealing. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. And the 1-0. Got him swinging on an inside one. Started on the inside part of the plate and worked its way in. And swing and a miss by Cruz, 1-1. And the 1-1. Outside 2-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Looked like an off speed. From here, 2-2. And the pitch. Low, 3-2. Catcher looking for it. It was right underneath him. But no advance by Marino. So the count goes full. The runner on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. And the pitch. He walked him. Oh. He didn't walk him. That was a strikeout. Cruz was ready to throw the bat, toss the bat off to the side and head to first. With a strikeout to Cruz for the first time, or for the first out of the inning. That brings in Pace, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. I'm not going to lie, that pitch, that strikeout pitch to Cruz looked a little low. But here we are nonetheless as the sun comes out. 0-1 is outside 1-1. Got that late afternoon sun. Could make it a little bit difficult for the outfielders especially. And the 1-1. Outside 2-1. Ground ball down the third base line. No! Called foul barely. That looked really close to going with the bag fair. And remember, it can go over any part of the base. Doesn't matter where it lands after that. Inside. Count goes full, 3-2. So here we go. Brano first. And the 3-2 to Pace. Swing and a miss, strikeout. Might have swung one a little bit out of the zone there, but a nice pitch nonetheless.
Now batting for Coffeyville, third baseman, number 28, Cooper Jarnigan.
That brings in Cooper Jarnigan to the plate, 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. Back at the second. Brano is on first. Coffeyville down 6-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. And here we go. The delivery 1-0 is out of play, or actually down the right field line. Is that going to be in play? It is out of play. 1-1. Okay, technically not out of play, but it did land in foul territory. And the 1-1. Up and in, 2-1. But so far, so good. I haven't said anything about US 98 yet. There was an over-under on how many times I was going to say that instead of Sunshine 98.9. So, or at least we're good there. The 2-1 outside corner, 2-2. Inside, and a stolen base by Moreno. So a 2-out steal. Moreno's in scoring position. The pitch was outside, so the count once again goes full. Here's the 3-2. Weak little grounder towards short. Got to make a quick play and throw over, and he is safe. Safe at first. And another infield hit for Coffeyville. That allows Burrow to go to third.
Catcher number 7, Ethan Gillespie.
That brings in Gillespie, who walked last inning. First pitch is inside, 1-0. So the second infield single of the inning. Makes runners at the corners. 1-0. And now we're getting a mound visit for Johnson County. So Coffeyville had a pretty good chance to score back in the first inning. Left runners on second and third in the third inning. Now they have runners on the corner with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Johnson County leads 6-0. Appreciate you joining us here on Sunshine 98.9 and on the Red Raven Sports Network. While we have just a second, why don't we pause 10 seconds for station identification on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. So runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Johnson County does lead 6-0. Chris Rowan, glad to be with you here from Walter Johnson Park. And the 1-0 fouled back towards us. Count goes to 1-1. And the 1-1 to Gillespie. Outside, 2-1. It may just be me, but every time I hear the name Gillespie, I automatically think of the TV show In the Heat of the Night. Don't ask me why. 2-1. And a swing and a miss, 2-2. William O. Gillespie. Don't ask me why I know that either. Full of useless trivia here. I think that meant Oliver. Whoa, what a curveball. Strike 3. What a pitch. For the third out of the inning. Runners left on the corners at the end of 4. Johnson County leads 6-0. Headed to the top of the 5th. We'll do that in 90 seconds here on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Easton Rowe.
Headed to the top of the fifth, it will be Rowe, Mancinas, and Kelly due up for Johnson County, as they have a 6-0 lead over Coffeyville. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Slap into the left center field gap. That's going to be trouble. Up off the wall. Gets it in quickly, but a leadoff double by Rowe. And you know it's a hard hit ball when you can hear it bounce off the wall. Hard hit ball. And a leadoff double
number 22,
for Rowe.
Chris Mancinas.
That brings in Mancinas, who was hit by a pitch in the second inning and walked in the third. That was a laser off the left center field wall, just right to the scoreboard. Here's the pitch outside, 1-0. And the pitch. After a look at second. Swing and a miss. Got him on a pitch inside, 1-1. Now looking to bunt. Puts down a nice bunt, but it goes foul. So 1-2. Looking to catch the Coffeyville defense off guard. Just couldn't get it in fair play. So 1-2. Low, 2-2. Aren't you supposed to say hi if you kind of get in the view of the camera, just wave or something like that? Right. 2-2. With a runner on second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. That was a nice pitch. Mancina strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Johnson, number 4, Carter Kelly.
That brings in Carter Kelly. Flying out to center in the second inning and walked in a run back in the third. There's a foul out of play right side, 0-1. So a leadoff double by Rowe and a strikeout man by Mancinas. One out here in at the top of the fifth. Johnson County leads 6-0. And the 0-1. Outside corner, strike two. Nice pitch. So the count goes to 0-2. There's a strike outside corner, strike him out. And safe on a steal. Almost a strike him out, throw him out. A strikeout nonetheless to Kelly. But Rowe advances to third.
17, Jake McClure.
That brings in Jake McClure. 1 for 2 with a base hit and a walk. And the pitch. Low and outside, I guess, 1-0. And the pitch. Now inside and low in the dirt. 2-0. Is it still in the dirt or is it in the turf? It's low. 2-0. And the pitch. Popped up into shallow left field. What a sliding catch by the left fielder. Nice job by Miller to make the play for the third out of the inning. Runner stranded on third at the end of 5.5. Johnson County leads 6-0 back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Leading off for Coffeyville, left fielder number 2, Carson Miller.
Your money.
Headed into the bottom of the 5th. There's a chopper towards the third baseman. Throw over to first for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Miller goes down.
Next up for the Red Ravens, center fielder number 4, Eric Bacon.
That brings in Eric Bacon to the plate.
Like me. Hey, I'm seeing the Chevy
1 for 2 with a double back in the first and grounded into a fielder's choice in the third.
Hey, I'm seeing the Chevy with the butterfly door. Sun is a hand.
We have a visitor that can leave and not come back. Just made its way into the broadcast booth here. There's a strike, 0-1. I thought we kept the one on the ledge there as a reminder not to come in, but that's just me. I could be wrong. The 0-1 to Bacon. Low, ball 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Wasp, the most useless creature ever created. That's just my opinion. 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Of course, the same thing could be said about a fly. 1-2. Outside 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th. Johnson County leads 6-0. Trying to hold, and it looks like he did. So the count goes full at 3-2. Ground ball, first base side foul. Count stays at 3-2. Here's the pitch. Grounded towards second. Plants throws over to first for the second out.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, right fielder number 12, Colton Rudy.
That brings in Rudy. 0 for 2. Sacrifice, actually 0 for 1. Sacrifice in the first and struck out in the third. And the pitch. Outside corner, strike 1. Outside 1-1. And the pitch. Ground ball towards first. Throws over to the pitcher covering for the third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down, go the Red Ravens in the 5th inning. Johnson County leads 6-0 at the end of 5. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Leading off for Johnson County, number 28, Bo Schinkel.
Heading into the top of the 6th, Bo Schinkel up for Johnson County. He looks at ball 1 outside. Schinkel 0 for 3 on the day. Flew out to the shortstop in the 1st inning, reached on an error in the 2nd, flew out to right in the 3rd inning. Looks at ball 2 outside, so 2-0. Every time I broadcast a game, it reminds me about how terrible my handwriting is. Outside 3-0. At first glance, I was going to call Mr. Schinkel here Snorkel because of my handwriting. Glad I have Dirk right next to me, reminding me of who everybody is. Here's the 3-0 outside, leadoff walk.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 14, Micah Miller.
Micah Miller up now. 0 for 3, grounded to 3rd in the 1st, grounded to 1st in the 2nd, and struck out in the 4th inning. And the pitch outside, one outside corner, 0-1. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. That pitch kind of reminded me of the Greg Maddux strike zone back in the 90s. 1-1. Throw over to first. Back safely is Schinkel after the leadoff walk. And the 1-1 outside 2-1. The runner on first could almost have his own song by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Mr. Bo Shinkles. 2-1. And the pitch. Fouled back. Count goes to 2-2. I guess he is kind of dancing off first base, so it kind of works. And right now, people are saying Nitty Gritty Dirt who? 2-2. Throw over to first, back in time. That's where Justin Bieber got his start, was with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And the pitch, off speed, got him to swing, fouled it off. Count remains at 2-2, I should say. Johnson County leads 6-0 here in the top of the 6th. This will teach Shea to have prior commitments and not be able to broadcast both games of the doubleheader. The 2-2. Outside, runner takes off for second. There's nobody covering second. The ball goes into center field. Schenkel will go to third on the ball that goes into center field, and that's really, I don't know really how in the world you would score that, because neither the second baseman nor the shortstop were covering. I don't know whose job it was to cover. I'm assuming it might be the shortstop ball to cover just because of the left-handed batter. In the meantime, fly ball deep center field, deep back off the wall and off the glove of Bacon. And they're going to get a possibly another triple as they round the second into third, and an RBI triple for Miller. That was a deep fly ball. Skied high, went off the wall, and went off of Bacon's glove. That brings in Comer. Comer 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored. Outside corner, strike one. So after that run, Johnson County leads 7-0 here in the top of the 6th. Comer with a base hit and a run scored in the second, a base hit and a run scored in the third, and a triple and a run scored in the fourth. Fouls that one off, 0-2. So a very productive day for Mr. Comer at the plate. In fact, he walked and had a run scored in the fourth inning of game number 1. Ended up going 3 for 4 in that game. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-2. So have a day, Mr. Comer. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th. There's the pitch. Fouled off his foot. Count stays at 1-2. Steps out. Now he's back in. And the 1-2. Low, 2-2. The runner on third is Miller after an RBI triple. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball for the strikeout. So Comer strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Johnson, number 27, Boston Bruce.
That brings in Boston Bruce. Fielder's choice in the second. Popped out to the catcher in the third. And had a sacrifice fly in the fourth. So really over 2 with a sac fly. Foul ball for strike one. And the pitch. With the infield playing in, that is a ground ball that gets past the shortstop. And an RBI base knock for Bruce.
Next up for Johnson, number 16, Riker Edwards.
So Miller scores from third. And a base hit by Bruce. The RBI base hit extends the lead for Johnson County to 8-0. That brings in Edwards, who is 0 for 3. Reached on an error back in the second, flew out to right in the third, and popped up to the second baseman in the fourth. There's a nice pitch and a throw back over, and barely back. It's a nice pickoff attempt by Gillespie. The pitch was a strike, so 0-1. It's now 8-0 Johnson County at the top of the 6th. Fouled back out of play, 0-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A nice pitch below the zone, but a strikeout nonetheless.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 11, Easton Rowe.
That brings in Rowe, who is 2 for 2 with a walk. A couple of RBIs back in the 2nd. Walked in the 3rd and had a double and was stranded on 3rd in the 5th. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. If you're a Royals fan, the Royals lose 7-3 to the Astros this afternoon. And the pitch gets to the backstop. Bruce goes to second. So the Royals lose 7-3 to Houston. I bring that up because my favorite pitcher for the Royals takes the loss, and Chris Bubich. So after a meeting with the umpires, here we go. 2-0 to Rowe. Outside 3-0. So Bruce advances on the wild pitch. He's at second. Rowe now looking at a 3-0 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Johnson County leads 8-0. Get me over fastball for strike 1. And the 3-1. Ground ball down the first base line. Steps on the bag for the out. And the unassisted 3 gets Coffeyville out of the inning. 2 more score for Johnson County. They're up 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. And second baseman Landon Midget will lead off the bottom of the sixth for Coffeyville. They're down to Johnson County 8-0 here in the bottom of the sixth. Here's the pitch. Almost hit him, but inside, ball one. Game two of a doubleheader. Coffeyville won on a walk-off in the bottom of the seventh. Earlier today, they won 5-4. Coffeyville will host a playoff series in May. Hanging curve up high, 2-0. So it's Midget, Moreno, and Cruz due for Coffeyville here in the bottom of the sixth. There's a pitch on the outside corner, 2-1. These two teams with incredible pitching staffs. Johnson County showing it in this game. There's a hit toward short. Gathers it, throws over to first for the out.
Next up for the Red Ravens, number 31, Sean Moreno.
That brings in Sean Moreno, the DH. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit back in the fourth. Also a stolen base. Inside 1-0. These two teams have played some really tight games this season. Wouldn't surprise me if they faced each other again in postseason. There's a curve inside, 2-0. Right now, Johnson County, the number 2 seed, and Coffeyville, the number 3 seed in the Jayhawk. There's the 2-0. Swing and a miss, strike one. Nice pitch from Billard. And the 2-1. Offered at it still, strike. So 2-2 with one gone here in the bottom of the sixth. And the pitch. Fouled on the play, first base side. Is it just me, or does anybody else kind of wait to hear if there's a thud? Which leads to a call to the insurance company tomorrow. Not that time. 2-2. Outside, 3-2. There's a reason why I parked at the hotel down the street. And the full count offering to Moreno. Sky high, shallow center. Shortstop goes out, makes the play for out number 2.
Next up for the Red Ravens, shortstop number 8, Nathan Cruz.
That brings in Cruz. 1 for 2 on the day with a base hit back in the second. First pitch to Cruz is low and outside, 1-0. If you're watching on the Red Raven Sports Network, you see what I see in the bottom left-hand corner. That sounds good for dinner. 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the sixth, Johnson County leads 8-0. Ground ball down the third baseline. Nice pickup and throw over. One hopper gets him for the third out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the sixth. Headed to the seventh. Johnson County leads 8-0. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. 8-0 lead here at Walter Johnson Park. New pitcher for the Red Ravens.
Leading off for Johnson County, number 22, Chris Mancinas.
Due up for Johnson County, Chris Mancinas. Little twister to the third baseman. Down the line, makes the play. A number off the end of the bat. Had one pitch, one out. Don't know if I should call that an excuse me swing or what. Just a wicked cue shot, if you will. Third baseman was able to make the play. Nice play by Jarnigan to get it over to first for the first out. That brings in Kelly. 0 for 2 on the day. Fouled back our way, 0-1. And an RBI walk back in the third. Otherwise, flew out to center in the second, struck out in the fifth. 8-0. Johnson County with the lead here in the top of the seventh. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Another nice play by Jarnigan. Has to make a tough throw over to first after the spin move, and he does. What a play. So 2 great plays in a row by Jarnigan.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 17, Jake McClure.
That brings in Jake McClure. Got a base hit back in the second, walked in the third. So 2 for 3 on the day. There's a strike over the inside part of the plate, 0-1. Fouled out of play, 0-2. As we finally get a little bit of a cool breeze here in the broadcast booth. 0-2. Outside 1-2. Five people in the broadcast booth and one with a lot of hot air. That just means it's very hot. Ground ball down to the first baseman for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down goes Johnson County in the 7th inning. Back in 90 seconds for the bottom of the 7th. Johnson County leads 8-0. Back in 90 on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. After 7 shutout innings for Johnson County. Excellent pitching performance from him. And the new pitcher for Johnson County is Hudson Bird. Bird has a 4.24 ERA in 13 appearances.
Number 10, Wyatt Pace.
37 strikeouts against 12 walks. And here we go. Bird's first batter. Is Pace, who looks at a strike in the outside corner, 0-1. Pace is over 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Next pitch is outside, 1-1. Johnson County leads 8-0 here in the bottom of the 7th at Walter Johnson Park. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Coffeyville won the first one 5-4. Here's the 1-1. Up the middle, nice shot, nice base hit by Pace.
Now batting for Coffeyville, third baseman number 28, Cooper Jarnigan.
That brings in Cooper Jarnigan to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day with a base hit back in the 4th. Made a couple of great defensive stops in the top half of this inning. We'll see if it's true, if making good defensive plays leads to great plays on offense. Pace on first. Here's the pitch. At the knees. 0-1. And the pitch. Curveball hits him on the left shoulder blade.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, catcher number 7, Ethan Gillespie.
That brings in Ethan Gillespie. He was 0 for 1. A walk back in the 3rd, a strikeout in the 4th. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Coffeyville with runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. Looks in. Looks back at second now. The pitch. Up high, 2-0. Pace is on second. Jarnigan on first. A base hit and a hit batsman. The first 2 batters of this inning for Coffeyville. Now a visit to the mound. So we can go over basically what has happened so far in this game. It's been all Johnson County. Johnson County scored 3 runs on the second inning, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and the 2 in the 6th. They lead 8-0 here in the bottom of the 2nd, or bottom of the 7th. In the second game of a doubleheader. You ever get those points in your life where your brain moves faster than your mouth? Thank you. I just had one. Mound visit over. Not a moment too soon. Gillespie steps back in with a 2-0 count with runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 7th. Johnson County leads 8-0 and the 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. I just found a fault in my own statement because if your brain moves faster than your mouth, you have to have a brain to begin with. Two-one. Didn't go. Count goes to 3-1. But as the Scarecrow would say in The Wizard of Oz, sometimes people without brains do a whole lot of talking. Case in point. 3-1. Here's the pitch. Up high. There's a walk. They walk him loaded. Pace moves to 3rd. Jarnigan on second, and Gillespie with the walk.
Now batting for Coffeyville, left fielder, number 2, Carson Miller.
That brings in Carson Miller. With the bases loaded, he got a base hit back in the 3rd. Grounded out to 3rd in the 5th. One thing I've noticed about this team, one thing you know about this Coffeyville team, never count them out no matter how high the deficit is. Always looking to come back. There's a pitch, outside corner, strike 1. So we'll see if they can start the comeback here with no outs in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to have to be a healthy comeback, though. Here's the 0-1. Popped up. First baseman looks, is able to make the play in foul territory. Now it's back to the top of the order, and Eric Bacon.
Center fielder number 4, Eric Bacon.
Bacon had a double back in the first inning. 1 for 3. Bacon just 1 for 3 on the day. Looking to add a couple of RBIs to his total. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. And the 1-0. Ground ball to first. Going to take the sure out at first, but a run will score.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, right fielder number 12, Colton Rudy.
So Pace scores from third. All runners advance. Jarnigan moves to third. Gillespie to second. On the unassisted play by the first baseman. 2 outs now for Rudy. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, strike 1. So Coffeyville able to push their first run of the game across in the bottom of the 7th inning. 8-1 Johnson County, bottom of 7 with 2 outs. Rudy with an 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second for the 3rd out of the inning. So Coffeyville able to push across 1 run. Headed to the 8th inning. Johnson County leads 8-1. Back in 90 seconds with more on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. The 0-1 to Shingles is a ball, 1-1. It'll be Schenkel, Miller, and Comer due up for Johnson County here in the top of the 8th. Johnson County leads 8-1. Their next pitch is inside, 2-1. Schenkel reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. Had a walk and a run scored in the 6th. The 2-1 is outside, 3-1. A fly ball into left field. Making the catch is Miller for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Johnson, number 14, Mike and Miller.
Mike and Miller due up now for Johnson County. 1 for 4 with a triple and a run scored. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 1. The triple came last inning. The triple came in the 6th inning. Headed to straight center field about halfway up the wall. A high fly ball that just kept carrying. Looks like the wind is blowing out toward left center. So the wind might have helped that one go up against the wall. There's a foul back our way, 1-2. Johnson County, the number 2 seed right now in the Jayhawk, with a record of 40-10 coming into today. Scribbler off the bat. The count stays at 1-2. And if I remember correctly, Johnson County actually, as ball 2 goes inside, Johnson County not out of it to be able to take the number 1 seed. Depends on what happens with Cali. There's a pitch inside. Gets away from the catcher, but a ball nonetheless. So the count goes full, 3-2. To Miller with Comer on deck. There's a ground ball to first. Pace takes it easily. The unassisted out.
Now batting for Johnson County, number 26, Jeremy Comer.
That brings in Jeremy Comer, who's 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored. A couple of base hits and a triple. All coming to consecutive innings, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There's a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Struck out back on the 6th. So 3 for 4 on the day. And 3 runs scored. That's not a bad day. Here's the 1-0. It's a ball, 2-0. And the 2-0. Up and outside, 3-0. And the pitch. Down in the turf. Oh, they're going to call that a strike. Oh, I thought that was in the turf. That's why I'm up here and not umpiring. 3-1, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 outs. And it's fouled off. We'll see if that actually is in. No, it's actually going to stay in play. What a play by the left fielder. I thought that was going out of play for sure. But a fly out to left to end the inning at the end of 7.5. Johnson County leads 8-1. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. Leading off for Coffeyville in the bottom of the 8th, Landon Midget. 0 for 3 on the day. There's a pitch in the turf for ball 1. Might be about a 58.5-foot pitch. And the 1-0 to Midget. Moreno and Cruz on deck. There's the ball, 2-0. It's 8-1 Johnson County here in the bottom of the 8th. Coffeyville scored their lone run of the game so far last inning. Here's the 2-0. Inside, 3-0. And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner. 3-1. And the 3-1. Chopper up the middle. Shortstop ranges to his left, makes the play. Nice play, nice throw for the first out of the inning. So Midget grounds out to short. That brings in DH Moreno, who is 1 for 3 on the day with a base hit back in the 4th. And the pitch. There's a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Cruz is on deck. The second pitch is a strike, 0-2. And the 0-2 count to Moreno. Did he go? They're going to say he went around, so a strikeout by Moreno for the second out of the inning.
Now batting for the Red Ravens shortstop, number 8, Nathan Cruz.
That brings in the shortstop, Nathan Cruz. 1 for 3 on the day with a base hit back at the second inning. Moreno tried to hold up on that pitch in the turf and just couldn't hold up for strike 3. 2 gone here, bottom of the 8th. The pitch to Cruz is a strike on the outside part, 0-1. Next delivery is outside, 1-1. And the 1-1. Chopper foul. 1-2. And the 1-2 delivery. Chopper up the middle. Slow roller, nice play by the shortstop, but he pulls the first baseman off the bag. So when E6, I mean, it was a tough play to get to. Back behind the second base bag.
Up for the Red Ravens, first baseman, number 10, Wyatt Pace.
But a base runner nonetheless for Coffeyville. As Cruz reaches on an infield. I don't know, in some ways that might have been an infield single anyway. There's a pitch that goes to the backstop. Cruz will get to second on the wild pitch. After seeing the head nod of Dirk, I'm going to change that from an E6 to an infield hit. It looks like, I believe Cruz would have been safe no matter what, even if the throw didn't pull the first baseman off the back. So an infield single will change that. I have no official score, but nonetheless. Ground ball to third. Looks the runner back to second. Doesn't have to. Throws over to first for the out. At the end of 8, Johnson County leads Coffeyville 8-1 back in 90 seconds with ninth inning action on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.
Leading off for Johnson County in the top of the 9th inning, number 27, Boston Bruce.
The first pitch to Boston Bruce here in the top of the 9th is a ball, 1-0. Johnson County leads 8-1 here in the top of the 9th. There's a looked good, but must have been a little low, 2-0. Boston Bruce. There's a shot into left center field for a base hit. Might be looking to make that. It makes the wide turn at first. Thought about going to second, but nonetheless, a base hit by Bruce here in the 9th inning. That brings in Edwards, who's 0 for 4.
Number 16, Riker Edwards.
Riker Edwards reached on an error in the second inning and scored. Boston Bruce is on a first after a leadoff single. There's a swing and a miss, strike one. Made me realize that Kenny Loggins was wrong. We didn't have to go to Boston in the springtime. Boston came to us, and Boston Bruce. There's a swing and a miss, strike two, a throw down to first. But Bruce is back in time. That last song reference might have been a little bit of a reach now that I think about it. 0-2 to Edwards. Got him reaching, swing and a miss, strike three. What a pitch. Had a strikeout for the first out of the inning. Brings in Rowe.
Up next for Johnson, number 11, Easton Rowe.
Easton Rowe had a 2 RBI double back in the second, walked and scored in the third, had a double in the fifth. He's up with one on at the top of the ninth, looks at a strike, 0-1. And the 0-1, actually a throw over to first. Got him leaning just a little bit, but still back in time is Bruce. And the 0-1. Inside, skips away from the catcher. Bruce goes to second. The count goes to 1-1. Here it is. Outside, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the ninth. Johnson County leads 8-1. The pitch outside, 3-1. And the 3-1 delivery. Outside corner, strike 2. So the count goes full. And the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. Count stays at 3-2. On the hand buzzer pitch there. Here's the 3-2 outside. He walked him. So runners on first and second after the row walk. And that brings in
Johnson, number 22, Chris Mancias.
Chris Mancias. 0 for 3 with a walk. That walk back in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Runners were going. That's going to be a tough play. There's nobody covering first. Everybody's going to be safe. Kind of in the Bermuda Triangle between the pitcher, the first baseman, and the second baseman. Second baseman made the play, but with nobody covering first. Mancias gets an infield hit. So Bruce advances to third. Rowe goes to second. That brings in Carter Kelly with the bases loaded and a 1 out here in the top of the ninth. There's a pitch on the inside part of the play for strike, 0-1. Mancias didn't hit the ball at all, but he hit it in the right spot in between 3 Coffeyville fielders. Was able to beat out the second baseman running toward the bag. Here's the 0-1. And a wild pitch, scores. And all runners move up 90 feet. Kelly was able to get out of the way of the pitch. And it went all the way to the backstop. So now 9-1. Johnson County here in the top of the ninth. The 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Might have been in the turf. Bounced off the plate. So 2-1. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, 2-2. Got the black of the plate. And the 2-2. Off the handle. Count stays at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the ninth. Here's the pitch. And the turf. Count goes full at 3-2. Bruce scored on a wild pitch. Down the left field line, foul. Coffeyville was lucky that hooked like it did, because that had home run distance written all over it. So the count stays at 3-2. Rowe on third, Mancias on second, bless you. And a 3-2 pitch. Johnson County has pushed across 1 more run this inning. There's a ball 4. And the bases are loaded again. After Kelly draws the walk. It's back into the top of the order.
17, Jake McClure.
And Jake McClure will be up for the 6th time today for this game. And he looks at a ball high, 1-0. McClure is 1 for 5 with a walk. 1 for 4 with a walk. Looks at ball 2 outside. 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Johnson County leads 9-1. Have the bases loaded as well. It's outside 3-0. McClure 1 ball away from getting an RBI the easy way. The 3-0. There's a strike inside part of the plate, 3-1. And the pitch. And the dirt ball 4. So McClure walks with the bases loaded with an RBI. Rowe scores. Mancias moves to third. Kelly to second. McClure on first. And we have a meeting at the mound. And we're going to have a pitching change with 1 out in the top of the ninth. So we'll take a 60-second break. We'll talk about the new pitcher when we come back. Back in 60, Sunshine 98.9, the Red Ribbon Sports Network. And first batter he faces will be Schenkel. Bo Schenkel. Schenkel had a walk and scored back in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. Nice pitch down the middle with some good movement on it for strike 1. Outside 1-1. Griffin's looking to get a couple of outs here. Reach for it. Out of play. 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the ninth. 10-1 Johnson County. Here's the pitch. Reach for it. Slapped foul. Count stays at 1-2. Just like Columbus Day, the Red Ravens will be looking to make a comeback in the bottom of the ninth inning. Here's the pitch. Up high, 2-2. Just above the numbers, I'm assuming. Here's the 2-2. Went for the outside corner, just missed, 3-2. So all three runners will get a head start on this 3-2. Base hit into left field. 1 run scores. Runner coming around third to score. It'll be cut off. Actually, no, it makes it all the way to the catcher. But a 2 RBI base hit by Schenkel. And it is 12-1, Johnson County.
For Johnson, number 14, Mike Miller.
That brings in Mike Miller, who had a triple and an RBI and a run scored in the 6th. Inside 1-0. So Johnson County with a 4 spot so far in the top of the ninth to extend the lead to 12-1. Here's the pitch. Fouled off left side out of play. 1-1. And if they go 2 more batters, my scorebook is going to look really hectic. The Froon is running out of room, what can I say? 1-1. Out of play left side again. Hey, while you're out there getting that first foul ball, go ahead and get that second one if you would. Since you're out there. Hey, since he's up. Foul ball. Out of play again. Hey, since you got those first 2 out there, why don't you get that third one? Can you make me a sandwich while you're out there? So the count stays at 1-2 with 1 out here in the top of the ninth. I'm hungry. Domino's looks good. What can I say? For those of you watching on the Red Raven Sports Network. Ground ball to short. Over to second for 1. To first for 2. And a double play gets them out of the inning. A very forgiving double play to end the inning. At the end of 8.5. Johnson County leads 12-1. Back in 90 seconds on Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network. two of the doubleheader. Coffeyville did win the first game 5-4, so they will now be able to host a playoff series at home here at Walter Johnson.
And now batting for Coffeyville.
But Johnson County with 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, and 4 in the ninth with a 12-1 lead. Here's the pitch to Jarnigan, who is 1 for 2 with a base hit and a hit batsman. Jarnigan, Gillespie, and Miller due up. Next pitch is a strike, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Inside corner, strike 2. And after the long look at the catcher, here's the 1-2. In the turf, 2-2. That got the umpire as well. That one bounced off the turf and got him. So the catcher goes out to talk to the pitcher while they talk with the home plate ump again. That's the second time he's gotten it in this game. I'm not sure where that got him, but there's no walking that off. He looks to be in pretty good pain. Let's just say that. So 12-1, Johnson County with the lead here in the bottom of the ninth. Looking at a 2-2 count. After this loss, Coffeyville will drop, if you want to say drop, really, to 31-17 on the season, while Johnson County will improve to 41-11. Giving the umpire just a couple minutes to be able to get his bearings about him. He's going to remember this game, at least for a few days anyway. Two really good teams. The number 2 seed Johnson County Cavaliers. The number 3 seed Coffeyville Red Ravens. So we're back with a 2-2 count to Jarnigan. The umpire looks to be ready to put this one in the box. Not that I'm blaming. So here we go, 2-2, no outs, bottom of the ninth. Coffeyville down 12-1. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, out of play first base side. Stays at 2-2. And the pitch. Fouled off right side, out of play. Again, 2-2. And the pitch. Popped up right side, this time in play. Taken care of by the first baseman. So one gone here in the ninth.
Now batting for Coffeyville, catcher number 7, Ethan Gillespie.
That brings in Ethan Gillespie, who's 0 for 1 technically. A walk back in the third, strikeout in the fourth, and a walk in the seventh. And the pitch. Outside, 1-0. Outside, bounced it up there, 2-0. And the 2-0. And the turf, 3-0. Here's the 3-0. Outside corner, strike one. And next pitch, ball, it's a walk.
Up next for the Red Ravens, left fielder number 2, Carson Miller.
That brings in Carson Miller, who is 1 for 3 with a base hit back in the third. And the pitch. Inside corner, strike one. 0-1. One gone here, bottom of the ninth. Johnson County leads 12-1. And the pitch. Through the right side, where the first baseman would normally be playing, it's a bouncer, a roller, into right field for a base hit. The first baseman was covering the bag.
Up next for Coffeyville, center fielder number 4, Eric Bacon.
So Gillespie goes to second on the one-out base hit. Miller's on first. That brings in Eric Bacon, who is driven in Coffeyville's only one. There's a strike. He drove in Coffeyville's only run back in the seventh with a ground out to first and a fielder's choice. Here's the pitch. Nice block by the catcher to keep it in front of him. So here we go. Here's the pitch. There's a strike. I believe it's 2-1 now. Yep, 2-1. Or is that 1-2? That's 1-2, actually. Outside. It is 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here at the bottom of the ninth. Runners on first and second. Gillespie on second, Miller on first. Here's the pitch. There's a pitch in the dirt. So the count goes full. Bacon looking to keep it going. There's a walk. And now the bases are loaded.
Up next for the Red Ravens, right fielder number 12, Colton Rudy.
Gillespie on third, Miller on second, Bacon on first. That brings up Colton Rudy, who's 0 for 4. Technically 0 for 3 with a sacrifice back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. There's a strike, 0-1. Ground ball toward short. Going to be tough to get to. They get one. At second, they got the force at second.
Now batting for the Red Ravens, second baseman number 14, Landon Midget.
Gillespie does score on the play. Miller moves up to third, but Bacon is out at second. So 1 out remaining. And the pitch to Midget is a ball inside. 1-0. 12-2 now, Johnson County. There's a shot into right field. Deep fly ball. Right fielder makes his way back, makes the catch, and that's how this game ends. 12-2, the final score. In game number 2, Johnson County wins game number 2, 12-2. Coffeyville did win 5-4 in game 1 of the doubleheader. So a doubleheader split. Game 1 goes to Coffeyville. Game 2 goes to Johnson County. Johnson County improves to 41-11 on the season. Coffeyville improves to 31-17 on this season. Another doubleheader sweep. Game 1, Coffeyville. Game 2, Johnson County. We appreciate you joining us here from Walter Johnson Park. I'm Chris Freund saying so long for Sunshine 98.9 and the Red Raven Sports Network.